Hello, welcome back to NJW 1967. Today we're going to be taking a look at my recent visit to Motorcycle Live 2023. Well, here we are, Motorcycle Live 2023, and I'd just like to say thanks again to Virtue BMW Motorrad of Rotherham for the free tickets. Really appreciate it, guys. Thanks again. It has to be said, the display that stood out the best for me this year was definitely the Motorrad BMW stand. It was excellent. Taking into consideration our visit was midweek, the show was very busy. Getting close up to some of the exhibits was quite a challenge.
I've not been out of first gear yet, though.
Rightly so in this arena, Neil. So, like I mentioned, the whole bike has changed. Everything's new suspension, gearbox. One thing BMW has really tried to do with these bikes is make them more accessible, more easy to ride, easier to throw around, whether you're being an idiot like Ben and Neil here, or whether you're just riding to the shops or turning it around in your garage. They're a little bit easier to ride. They've also made them quite a lot lighter, so if you're clumsy like Ben and you drive, it's a brand new motorcycle.
Don't fall down the back.
It's a brand new motorcycle. Sort your life out. I do apologise, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a pretty sight, that. But like I said, 9 kilos lighter, so hopefully Ben can pick it up, I reckon, one-handed.
Oh, I don't know, you put me in a tricky spot here, Chris.
You put yourself there, Ben. Oh, round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. That's not a bad effort. This man's going to have an arm like Popeye by the end of the week. So, as well as making the bike slimmer, smaller, lighter, easier to handle, one thing that BMW wanted to achieve was making it more accessible for people that are worried about getting their feet on the ground. So, there's an option on the new bike. You can now spec the adaptive ride height, which means as you roll into a stop, the bike lowers itself down 30 millimeters. You tipped it over too far there, Ben. It's upset with you. The bike now drops down 30 millimeters as you come into a stop, and then as you pull away again, it lifts back up. So the whole point of that is you get that nice easy ground access, that low centre of gravity, but then as you ride away, the bike lifts itself up so you get more ground clearance, and from a road riding point of view, the bike changes direction better. As soon as you go too low, it actually compromises the handling. So this system gets you the best of both worlds. Neil's going to do it in front of the camera there for us, so you can see on the big screen. Ben will do it out here. In enduro mode, you can make it go up and down manually, so you can set it high or set it low, whatever your preference. But as I mentioned, in road mode, it does that as you ride on. On top of the adaptive ride height control, one of the other things which is a massive innovation on these bikes is the dual spring rate, the active spring rate system. Now, the GS for a long time now has had active preload, so if you put luggage on it, if you put panniers, heavy pillions, the bike will reset itself up to the standard ride height, so you don't ever have to fiddle around adjusting the suspension. They've taken it one step further, and the bike now has an active spring rate. And what that means is you can have a soft spring. It acts on the normal spring in the softer riding mode, which lets the bike move around on bumps, makes it more comfortable for touring. Also on slippery, wet roads, it gives you a little bit more feel, a little bit more feedback. And then if you want to go quick and start throwing the bike around or load out with a load of luggage and ride it quick, it will now make itself stiffer, so it's got a second spring inside the canister. It activates the second spring and you get a stiff bike with much more kind of aggressive steering, much sportier feeling. So you get that all in the same package, so you can really change the bike just by tweaking the riding modes. Further on for that, you'll see the boys have swapped two different bikes here, and if you look closely, you'll notice they're considerably higher than the other two. So these bikes feature the sport suspension package. Again, this isn't just a bolt-on of the adventure struts that they did on the old one. This is a completely developed suspension package that gives the bike another step up. It's another step more aggressive, another step more sporty. You've obviously got a lot more ride height, so you can do bigger jumps. If that's your thing. You can also benefit because the higher ride height makes the bike more aggressive on the steering geometry, so it's sportier on the road, it calms the turn tighter. So there's quite a lot of difference between each of the different models of this GS. So if you want to book a test ride on one, grab one of our event team, but make sure you spec the one for you. If you want something more sporty, more aggressive, you want to try and test the sport suspension bike. If you want something more touring orientated, the Tramontana on the wall over there with the dual heated seats and the electric screen. But we're going to concentrate on the two off-road base, the sports bikes here, with the high suspension. And we're going to talk about Neil's favourite subject, which is traction control. Neil, tell us all about it.
I just eat pasties.
No, not organic traction control, electric traction control, the one the bike has.
So these bikes come with a plethora of assists, and one of them with the traction control is absolutely amazing. So I'm an Enduro Pro now. I'm going to turn my traction control on. So on Enduro Pro it is off-road orientated, so the settings are a lot more softer, let's say, but for a wet winter road, if you were coming along and you get onto a slippery patch and you're still riding a little bit spirited, it lets you slide out but still keeps you under control, nice and steady. If I were to turn the traction control off and just be hand-fisted on the throttle like that, oh, you'd be in a world of hurt pretty quickly. Things get out of control pretty quickly.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Neil and Ben ride around. If we can keep our arms outside the arena so no one gets caught by a handguard, especially once they start playing around like this. Now, obviously, power slides and drifting, the traction control makes a big difference off-road. If you've got a traction control system that lets you get up a big hill, keeping the bike driving forward without getting too out of shape, it can be the difference between making the top of the hill and not. Not quite so relevant in road riding, especially the rolling burnouts, but one thing that is relevant to road riding, I think, is the ABS system. Let's have a quick show of hands in the audience. How many people have been out on their bike on the road in the last couple of weeks? Yeah, there's a good number of people. Yeah, slippery at the moment, isn't it? Greasy roads. Modern ABS systems are an incredible thing, but the one on this bike is particularly good because it copes with such a wide range of situations. An ABS system that does too much, that interferes too much, will actually make you take longer to stop. But an ABS system that knows what terrain it's on, can sense the ground, and actually get the bike stopped in as quick a time as possible, that is what you really need when you want to get it stopped quick. So Neil, I think the ABS system's idiot proof. I want you to go full idiot. Can you go maximum idiot?
I can do idiot.
Good, I'm glad to hear it. I want you to ride down here, flat out, as fast as you can, and then about where that gentleman is, I want you to jam on the front brake as hard as you can with no finesse. I've got your old either. Human shield, yeah, this was in the risk assessment. I'm expendable. Right, full brake, no skill, let the ABS do its work.
Grab my front brake. So I'm an Enduro Pro, so yeah, it's still an off-road setting, but let's have a go. As hard as I can, on the brakes. Well, it wasn't hard enough because I didn't squeeze hard enough. Ben, squeeze harder, get the bike to a nice stop.
Be nice, Ben.
Do you trust me, Chris?
I don't trust you, but I trust the bike.
It has to be said that MV Augusta are really on top of the game. when it comes to styling. What a beautiful bike. As you can see, getting near to the exhibits wasn't easy. The Ducati Street Fighter SP2 V4. What a piece of kit. Now doesn't that just look a weapon?
Thursday is still a contingency day, and Tuesday is now a race day. So we've managed to have a word with the crematorium, and they've cancelled all services for TT Race Week, so we're now able to close the roads at 9:30 like we do any other day.
Oh, good on. Grace, from a TV point of view, it's a weird schedule, because a lot of the times when the racing's going on, you haven't got anything to do. But then he kind of shoves everything up into quite a manic kind of couple of hours.
James, you say that there's nothing to do. You've been on the presenting team.
Really like these new retro paint schemes that Kawasaki are doing on the ZX-10Rs. Just reminds me of my old ZX-R 750. And what a stunning old bike that was. Just look at these beautiful old RGVs. One's a 250 GP bike and the other's an RGV 500. The 500 is believed to be one of Kevin Schwantz's ex-GP bikes, but it's worth a fortune. As always guys, thanks for watching and bye for now.